Hi, my name is Jill Heron. The purpose of this discussion is to discuss ethical violations and the disciplinary actions that followed for Module 6, Week 6 of Ethical and Legal Issues in Counseling. As I reviewed the last couple of years of counseling disciplinary actions, there were two main categories that were the cause for the disciplinary actions. These two causes were misuse of privacy and confidentiality, and the second is the violation of the relationship between counselor and client. When reading through the notes for each of these, it is very sad to me that counselors would take advantage of the relationship that they have with clients and use that power for their own good and pleasure. Common themes that I see throughout these cases are situations where patient records were not handled properly, proper counseling notes were not kept, client records were not handled properly in relation to court orders. There were also cases of counselors having inappropriate relationships with their clients, whether that means not setting the boundaries that need to be set, or if it was in relation to a counselor taking the relationship to one of a sexual nature. This was the cause of most of the license revocations that took place in the last few years. The case I am going to discuss here is the state of North Carolina versus Robert C. McCarter, Jr. The final decision for this case was decided January 1st, 2022. The counselor in question was accused by a client of inappropriate sexual advances against the client. During the counseling sessions, he made advances toward her and used language and discussions to try to make her accept his actions. During one session, he sexually assaulted her. It was also discovered that he did not keep accurate records and that he was not fully trained in the therapy he claimed to use with this client. She did not report him at the time, but then asked him to report himself or donate to her church. When that did not happen, she finally, after a series of events, filed a complaint against him. The counselor's actions violated North Carolina General Statute 90-340A12 and 90-340A14. They also violated ACA 2014 Code of Ethics A1C, A4A, A5A, and C2A. These codes address the issues of jointly setting up a counseling plan, avoiding anything that would cause harm to the client, and not having sexual relations with clients, and being competent in the profession. Daniel 2020 states that when considering non-maleficence, I always use my power for my client. This counselor clearly violated the value of non-maleficence. The result of these violations is that Mr. Carter's license was revoked. His license must be returned to the state of North Carolina, and he must terminate all services to clients and make provision for them to transfer to other counselors by February 11th, 2022. This whole situation did raise the question to me as to whether he had done this before and whether there is a better way to weed out those who would prey on the vulnerability of clients in their state of need.